today I am working on a crochet kit I purchased from Amazon. It is the sunflower foam bag. They claim it's for an advanced beginner. I think I might consider myself an advanced beginner. The one I have is actually this, instead of being green, it is this cream colored, so that's the only difference. Looks like I have all of my supplies here, ready to go. The abbreviations and then a photo tutorial on how to create some of the stitches. They have a QR code here for videos. The one thing I noticed is I took a look at the videos and the way that they describe what they're doing actually makes it more confusing. So I think I'm just going to follow the written instructions. So first I'm gonna start with, looks like the front of the purse. And the front of the purse has the sunflower. Then we create the back of the purse, sew the pieces together, create the lace edging, the separate little sunflower, and the leaf. We attach that, and then we create the strap. Let's get started and see. Working with the magic ring. This hook feels a little small for the yarn. There's 3. The yarn is kind of getting splitty or unwinding. It might be, maybe it's not supposed to. When I let it go, it kind of winds back up, so that's okay. So far I have the start of this first one. Now I need to do the next round. Okay, so round 3 was a little confusing. The directions are, I watched the video, those were still confusing. So I think what round 3 is, so I think I need to do double crochet clusters. Let's just go into anywhere. 2, 3, 4, and chain 2. Looks like I don't know if this is correct, but I just finished round 1, 2, 3. It's very wavy. I started off initially doing, because it said 4 double crochets, but then in the photo, it looks like it's just 3 double crochets. I don't know, maybe I did it wrong. I started off doing 4 double crochets, then I went to 3 double crochets in a cluster. We'll see. I don't think it really matters, but it's wavy, but it looks like it will lay all right. So now I get to do the petals. Thing I can say is the directions aren't very good. It says 5 double crochet, I think that's popcorn clusters, and 3 chains. So I do 3 chains and I do that. You should have, I guess, 16 clusters plus the SS, I don't know what SS is, 64 stitches. But it says hook 5 long popcorn needles at the braid needle in the previous loop. I guess mine is maybe gonna be more like this. Anyways, okay, time to do the clusters. So try this, and I found that if I hold the crochet hook more like this, if I hold the crochet hook more of the pencil method, it seems to fit better. And I saw this on a video where you start with the slip knot, you put the slip knot on your needle, or hook. I say needle because I'm used to knitting, and so that's called a knitting needle, so I say needle. But okay, so now I chain 3. And I think that counts as 1. 2, 3. That's not it. I'm I'm gonna Google how to do these popcorn. That's what I have so far with 3 popcorn stitches. Not bad. I'll finish these up and we'll see how it looks. Okay, so I finished round 4, which was to create the clusters with the yellow yarn. Now round 5, which is going to start the square, and it says green yarn because it's green, but I'm doing it with this cream colored yarn. So I went ahead and marked, you make a corner, you start with the corner, and then you do 3 clusters, and the corners are 4 double crochet, 2 chain, 4 double crochet, 3 more. The side is going to be 3 sections of 4 double crochet, and then I do another corner. So I went ahead and marked with the included stitch markers where all of my corners are going to be. So this is what I have so far. You know, compared to the photo, it looks like mine has a lot more gaps than maybe in the photo. Like between my clusters, I have more gaps, but we'll see. All right, so I finished the first round and it's still pretty wavy and it's still gappy. So not happy about that, but I'll keep going and see what happens. Update on current status of my sunflower foam bag. So I have side 1 front piece and the back piece done. And now what I need to do is I need to sew the 2 pieces of fabric together. I think first I'm going to weave in my ends so they're not all loose in the bag. Sew it together and then you crochet a top gusset part. So this part gets crocheted, the lace, and then you crochet this. I think the sunflower might have looked nicer if there was more contrast between the 2 colors. I think those 2 browns are too close in color. If it had been different shades of brown, kind of like in the photo. It's still a little wavy. That's something that maybe blocking could fix. I'm actually not going to bother with blocking this because in my mind, once I get it sewn together, and then because it's a purse, like if I put something in it, I feel like after a while everything will just end up being the right size and working out. So I'm not going to bother with blocking. The directions were kind of interesting. Round 8 here. I think what it meant was to do a round of single crochet. That's what I did. But the directions say hook a loop of short needles and hook 3 short needles at the corner. So I did crochet, single crochet stitches, maybe, and then crochet 3 single crochets in the corner. That's what I did. Round 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It was just a regular round, but it said the directions were crochet at the braid needle of the last lap. The angle corresponds to the angle. Chain 4 double crochet, 2 chain 4 double crochet, parentheses 4 double crochet, asterisk 2. The above group, a total of 4 groups need hook weaving equals 72 stitches. I have no idea what that means. And then round 5, 6, 7 all said crochet. Knitting begins at the corner braid needle. I'm not really sure what those directions were, but hopefully I can get the rest of this done. I have my finished bag and I want to show the amount of yarn that I have left over. So I had quite a bit of the cream colored left over, and there's all of that. The green, when you go and you make this string, I made mine longer than it needed to be, so I would have had even more of the green left over. Earlier, criticism about the instructions. I think if you prefer to read instructions, these will confuse you. But if you're able to watch the video, the only other issue with the video was that the video was recorded in vertical. So like how you would watch a TikTok or a YouTube short instead of being recorded in horizontal. And it's not exactly the best quality. I feel like you get a good enough idea of how to do it to complete this. I still have the issue with my flower being a little wavy, but that doesn't bother me, and I think it'll probably work itself out as I use this. The other thing that's different is I seamed this on the outside, and you are supposed to seam it and then turn it inside out, so the seam is supposed to look like that. When I finished my seaming, I actually, for my own personal use, I kind of like that look of that braid around the edge, so I decided to leave it that way. Let's see, this, I think I paid $8.99 for this. Probably would not necessarily buy it again. I think it could be confusing for a real beginner. I've crocheted this type of thing before, not necessarily clustered, but you know, I've crocheted in the round. I think a brand new beginner might be frustrated by this. I think the quality of the yarn's very soft, but it definitely looks more acrylic and feels more acrylic than just cotton. I don't know if it's necessarily in the description what type of yarn it was. This might be fun if you were doing this with somebody who's more advanced to show you how to do it. I always like kits because I like that you get everything in it. Like, I didn't need these straight pins, and it also came with this. I didn't need that. So I think these would be used if you're crocheting like a toy or something, but the final item is fine. Just the process, and I'm trying to think of who this would be good for. I think this might be too frustrating for a real beginner. But anybody else, you could probably save yourself the money and maybe use up scraps because it barely uses any yarn. See, I have this purse. That's going to be another video. I have this, which is super cute. And then I have this one, which I actually think is probably, yeah, it's like the same company, so I don't know. Those look really little, so I'm not sure about how fiddly that might be. Let me know if you create something like this. I might be interested in seeing, based on my own yarn scraps, if I can come up with something similar to this. Maybe a little wider. I'm not sure what's gonna fit in here. It's kind of tiny, but all right. Thanks for joining me today, and have fun crocheting.